Now, to our top story this afternoon, the Data Protection Commission has issued a public warning on data breaches by operators of online loan apps. The Data Protection Commission says it has received tons of complaints regarding the harassment and debt-shaming approaches these online digital loan services are using to deal with defaulters. The Commission says operators of the online apps, which are mostly unlicensed, are violating the country's data protection laws. Executive Director Patricia Eduse-Poku joins us on Zoom to tell us a bit more. Good afternoon to you. So, tell us more about the nature of these complaints, and are you able to quantify them?
Thank you, Daryl. Good afternoon, and good afternoon to all your listeners. So, it's causing a lot of harm and distress in the ecosystem. The way these loan apps are collecting data from our data subjects across the country, and it's hard to quantify it, the extent of the damage beyond costs.
What is the role of the Commission in cases such as these?
So the Commission's major mandate is to protect the rights of individuals and their personal data. We are mandated to raise public awareness, which is why we are on TV today talking about it, educate the public and hold institutions accountable for the way they collect and use our data. There are principles in the Data Protection Act 2012, otherwise known as the Act 843, that dictates and guides institutions on how to collect legitimately and use the data. Data has a life cycle. From the point you're collecting, from the point you're collecting to when you finish using it, there are rules. The data subject is empowered to be contributing to the way the data is used in a way that meets their reasonable expectation. It is not sufficient to trick people into clicking some link online and agreeing to every thing that you say and then use the data as you wish. You are not, data controllers are not allowed to collect beyond the data that allows them to meet the service that they are, the service demands that they are providing to the individual. So if you're providing a loan, you only take enough information about the person for you to provide and service the loan. It's very bad for you to take pictures, contact videos, and basically zap all the information of the individual off their phone and use it at will to harass them at a later date. It is causing a lot of chaos in the ecosystem, and we are holding the Bank of Ghana and the Cybersecurity Authority accountable for being regulators for the financial ecosystem and for protecting critical national infrastructure respectively, to take big action to curb or to mitigate these risks for us.
Well, I've seen a couple of WhatsApp messages. I don't know how they do it, but then I have a couple of friends who owe some of these online apps, and they've sent messages, details about some of my friends, and so I wonder how they're able to do this. But one would also say that the victims are not blameless because you've gone for a loan and you have to pay. What's your response to this?
So the fact that someone has come for a loan doesn't allow you to harass their financial sector rules around how debt management, credit facilities, and how you provide loans. There are strict rules around how this is done. There are international standards that the PCC, DSS tells us, it's called PSSD, the financial sector standards, tells us what people are allowed to do and not to do with financial data. These guys are online. They don't have a physical presence. They're not registered with the Bank of Ghana. They're going far beyond the scope of what they're allowed to do within the financial industry sector code of practice and taking information beyond what is allowed. They are writing with red paint on people's walls in their homes. They are going there and knocking people's food off the cooker and fire and embarrassing them.
Circulating their Ghana cards
to their communities.
Yeah, I just added circulating their Ghana cards as well. And so,
Exactly.
So what section of the Data Protection Act can bring relief to victims?
So the individuals are empowered to complain, ask for redress, to correct data, and the data controllers, those in this ecosystem that have collected the data, they are supposed to have collected legitimately. They are supposed to have explained at the point of collection the purpose for which they are collecting, which they may have done, but in small print. It has to be in plain enough language, and the consent that they get from this individual should be explicit consent, which means that the people should have been fully briefed and fully informed about how the data would be used against them, and they should have been given the opportunity to give an affirmative action to suggest that they are happy with the way the information will be used at the later date. People have a right to, when they are being harassed and distressed, to stop the processing of their data. Right now, all these rights have been infringed upon because the individuals haven't found a way to complain to these data controllers, the online loan app owners. Neither have we, the Commission, been able to track these defaulting institutions down to hold them accountable. All this is against the Data Protection Act, Section 46, that says that they must be registered with us, for example, and all the principles of data protection have been breached in this act.
Well, reading your statement is also significant to point out that most of these online loan services are unlicensed. Have you perused any of your privacy notices, the privacy notices of these loan services?
They haven't been very accountable to us or open to us concerning these privacy notices, and whatever they have on there, they themselves have gone against the principles of privacy statements. It's well beyond what they are allowed to do, and therefore, even if they have one on their attached to the app, it's beyond what is reasonably expected by any individual, and so it's a breach of their rights straight away. I know the Bank of Ghana and the Cyber Security Authority are working hard to eliminate some of these apps by disabling them, using their efforts and with collaborating with Google and all that. But we also have found out in our discussions with Bank of Ghana that as they disable them, new ones come up. So it's becoming a very overwhelming project for them to do, even in their capacity as the Cybersecurity and Bank of Ghana regulators.
And you've called on the cybersecurity units of the Bank of Ghana, the Cybersecurity Authority, and other agencies to rally efforts to fish out and apprehend the operators of these loan apps. What sanctions are they likely to face?
We've got all the members of the Joint Cybersecurity Technical Working Group, the national committee that oversees the critical national infrastructure, of which personal data is part of, to come on board with all their efforts. So we have the Bank of Ghana, we have the Cybersecurity Authority, the police, the national security, and all the other critical stakeholders, the FIC, financial investigations, even the Yoko and all the others have been briefed and are doing whatever they can in their efforts to find these culprits and bring them to order.
And for the victims, what is the way forward for them, those who have come to the Data Protection Commission to complain about a breach of their personal information?
We are encouraging victims to come forward with the evidence of what they are experiencing. It's not to say that we have a solution immediately, because we haven't found any responsible individual physically to deal with and prosecute as is within our mandate to do. However, we are compiling a dossier and sharing it with our peer regulators and the intelligence or investigators to try and find those in Ghana that are fronting these online apps, because we do know they are visiting people's homes in the night, they are harassing them, they are writing with pen.
Wow.
So the police and military and whoever have that capacity to do the investigations are on the alert, looking for some people in Ghana to arrest and to hold accountable for this problem.
Patricia Edusei-Poku is Executive Director of the Data Protection Commission. I appreciate your time with us this afternoon. Thank you so much.